Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Here to take a look at some pitching for today, the 6th of June. It is Saturday. We do have a 9-game main day slate and a 5-game night slate this evening. Could have some potential weather in New York, it looks like, this evening. But I have not seen any full updates just yet, so we're going to take pitching for what it is at this point. Some other weather, very great hitting, very great. I'm just learning how to speak, but excellent hitting weather in Minnesota, in St. Louis. Decent in Philadelphia, pretty warm in Philadelphia. If the rain holds off, pretty decent hitting weather in New York. And that's about it. And we do get wind blowing straight in at Wrigley. So maybe we have to consider some Cubs pitching? Question mark. But a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. And I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play in FanDuel, cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. Let's just jump right in. Kansas City, Minnesota. Joe Ryan at home is somebody that I play. Just the way it is. He's throwing the ball really well right now. 4 earned runs last time, out with a couple home runs allowed. Kind of frustrating, but an easy W. 9 strikeouts in 3 straight starts. Just throwing the ball really well. His worst start of the year did come against this Kansas City squad from a fantasy points perspective, but that was on the road. Stronger numbers at home this season. Stronger numbers when pitching at home throughout his Minnesota Twins career. Just 2 home runs allowed at home in 35 and a third innings. So Joe Ryan, definitely somebody that I want to utilize. Avila, coming off of his best performance. Honestly, I think that was the first one that he didn't follow an opener. I'll have to look back, but I'm fairly certain he did not follow an opener. 86 pitches, so we are seeing him extended out a little bit. Walks can be an issue. I thought he would have a little bit more strikeout upside. Maybe he does. I don't think I can get there today on a 9-game slate, but he's an arm that I'm kind of intrigued with from a semi-long-term basis. Just curious to see how he translates at the major league level. Cincinnati, St. Louis. As I mentioned, pretty strong hitting weather in St. Louis. Lodolo's been all right the last couple. He does have a home run issue, and there have been a walks issue. That's a pretty big worry for me here. I don't think I'm getting to Lodolo, even though his best starts have come on the road. I think it's probably a pass, but he's at least in consideration to be kind of like a last man in 10% sprinkle in my run. On the other side, Liberatore. I think I am going to play Liberatore. He has struggled a little bit at home. Overall, the Cincinnati lineup is more dangerous against left-handed pitching, I believe, this season from a power perspective. But I kind of think Liberatore fits decently. Plus, I haven't really loved the Reds lineup without Ellie. He obviously makes that lineup look a lot more dangerous. Liberatore hasn't been bad. 10 strikeouts, 2 starts ago, 9 strikeouts, 3 starts ago. I think there's just enough upside, and at 6,400, it's tough to pass on that value. Potential value, I should say. San Francisco, Chicago. Talked about the wind blowing in Wrigley. Ben Brown is going to be somebody I like. He's looked really good as a starting pitcher recently. Big-time arm in the minors. Struggled with consistency. Kind of been pushed to the bullpen. Now he's back in the starting rotation. He's looked pretty strong over his last, 22 innings, roughly. 5 earned runs allowed. 26 strikeouts in 22 innings. So hasn't been pushed beyond, 83 pitches. Low 80s in the pitch count the last 3 starts. Probably similar today. Maybe they finally let him go 90. But the nice thing is he's extending himself in games, innings wise, not necessarily pitch wise. So if they do let him go 90, maybe we get 8 innings out of him. I don't really think we're gonna get 8 innings, but it's certainly possible as they've been stretching him out or letting him go. On the other side, Landon Rout got lit up in his last start against the Brewers at a back issue. So that's a worry. I do want to consider Rout just because of the weather in Wrigley, but a back issue does worry me a little bit. Probably going to have to dig in more to some of the things that have been said about his back issue to just see what our worries are on if he, ends up having to leave the game early, I guess. Baltimore, Toronto. Kyle Bradish has looked better recently. Looked pretty good against this Toronto team. Obviously, I hate pitchers making back-to-back starts against the same team. Big worry for me. Toronto, not a big strikeout squad. He's still walking guys, which is annoying. Strikeouts have been down the last 2. I don't know if I'm going to get to Bradish, but he's an arm that I like. I truly believe there's enough upside in him. So I probably have to consider him at 8K. I'm just not in a hurry to use a pitcher against Toronto. Especially when we need some strikeouts. Fisher, opening Miles, long reliever. I'm just not getting there on a 9-game slate. White Sox, Phillies. I don't think I'm getting to either pitcher. Sean Burke, we've used a few times. He's looked decent. He's at least in consideration. I just don't think I want to get there. There are some strikeouts in the Philadelphia lineup, but there's a lot of power. Painter hasn't looked very good. Recently, strikeouts are way down. Walks, some home runs. I just don't think it's a great spot for Painter, even though I think there are strikeouts in the White Sox lineup. Arizona, Washington. Washington blew up last night, which is great. They were my number 1 stack on the site. I do think Eduardo Rodriguez is intriguing. I just don't know if I'm going to get there. Being left-handed probably helps in this matchup. So that's probably why I'm interested. I just don't think I'm going to end up there, but he's at least in consideration at 7,500. Pitt, Atlanta. 2 pitchers I'm going to be playing, but both have some volatility. Strider's had some home run issues recently, but strikeouts are kind of returning. Walks are there, so that's a worry. Pitt has plenty of power upside, but they do have plenty of strikeouts. Just one of those matchups on a slate that can go either way, but if it goes your way, it comes with a ton of fantasy point upside, and that's what we're looking for in large field GPPs. Axcraft on the other side, a couple of really strong starts over his, last 3, but really, really strong in 2 of those 3. 25 plus fantasy points in 4 of his last 6 starts. It is a volatile matchup. There's plenty of power in the Atlanta lineup. Some guys are swinging it pretty well, but I think there's a lot of upside for Ashcraft. Kind of similar to Strider, maybe not the same extreme variable, like one side to the other, but I think Ashcraft's definitely somebody that we have to play on this slate. Tampa Bay, Miami, Batcher, kind of getting lengthened out, but he's still somewhat of an opener / 3 to 4 inning guy. Not really in play. McClanahan, the last 3 starts haven't been the greatest, even though he has just 1 run allowed in the last 2. Strikeouts are down. And this is a team that doesn't strike out a whole lot. Has been weaker on the road, but he just not giving up hits. It's the walks that kind of come back to bite him. And kind of the lack of strikeouts. I think he's going to be in play on the slate. But as much as I love McClanahan, I just don't know if he can match the upside of some of the guys around him on this particular slate. So, for McClanahan to be in the winner, I think, we have to get kind of a down game from Strider, maybe Joe Ryan or Ashcraft on this particular slate. A's, Astros. Morris minor league numbers not very impressive. Probably not going to be somebody I'm using, even though his minor league ballpark or league is very offensive. So that could kind of lean to why he has some rougher numbers. I am considering Tetsuya Imai. The Ace can struggle a bit offensively. They did end up struggling last night, even though they walked a bunch. They just couldn't put up any runs. I think Imai is decent in this spot. He did absolutely dominate them. His best start by far so far this season came against this A's squad, so I think he's going to be in play. It's not somebody I'm super happy to jam in, but I think he just makes a ton of sense. Switching over to the night slate here, Mizorowski in Coors. Such a interesting phenomenon. Finished the month of May scoring nearly 31 fantasy points or more in every start. Impressive. 1 run allowed for the entire month. 3 games with double-digit strikeouts. 8+ strikeouts in every single start in May. Just absolutely phenomenal right now. Colorado, weak offensively. It is Coors, so I'm not sure. But velocity should play. It's the spin rates that have some issues with the air in Coors. So Mizorowski definitely still worth the 10K or 11K price tag. Yamamoto coming off of a dominant start. 8+ strikeouts in 4 out of his last 5 starts. We just saw Sasaki absolutely dominate the Angels. The Angels lead baseball in strikeouts, I do believe, yet. So it's just a great matchup for Yamamoto. Definitely going to go there. Warren against Boston. I think he's in play, but I'm not super excited. Strikeouts have been down. Walks are kind of up. Good ballpark for hitting, so that's a worry. But we do need to be able to use some other guys on the slate. We can't just jam in Mizorowski and Yamamoto, I don't believe. So I think Warren's worth the sprinkle. McLean, strikeouts have been down, walks are up. He managed to keep the ball in the ballpark his last start, which he was having troubles with. So maybe I just don't really want to go there. I don't mind picking on San Diego because they've been so rough offensively, but McLean's looked so bad recently that I do think I would rather play Warren. Rangers Torres taking on the Yankees. Without Judge, I think that's a decent matchup coming off a 10 strikeout performance, but he has given up 9 runs over his last 2 starts. Plenty of volatility, but I think there's enough upside in this matchup. He did struggle the first time he faced him, obviously, but that Judge was in there. I don't remember that game, so I'd have to dig in to see what happened, but I do think there's enough upside for Ranger Suarez against this Yankees squad. Jack Leiter coming off of a 10 strikeout performance. I think he's in play. I really do. Cleveland, not really a team that I like to pick on with pitching. They're not powerful, though, so he's capable of doing it. We just saw in Ranger Suarez how many strikeouts he had against Cleveland. So I think Leiter at home is somebody I want to play. He's been much better at the major league level when pitching at home. It's kind of the only guy I want down here. I don't really want to play Bybee. He's burned me enough. And then Texas just got Seager and Wyatt Langford back. I just don't think I'm going there. And the other 3 guys are just guys that I don't plan on playing unless I'm absolutely forced to on any slate. But there we have it. There's our first look at pitching options. If you enjoyed what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell, and get the alert anytime we drop videos here at TFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will drop links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly on a MLB package. Or Best Ball 2026 gets you 20% off any NFL or VIP Core 4 membership. And that's for the life of your membership. There will be a link to the merch store in the description. Check that out. Check out my design, my hoodie. Get it on a t-shirt, a hat, coffee cup, etc. And that's all I've got for you guys today. So as always, best of luck, everybody.